From the Northwest Public Broadcasting Studios on the campus of Washington State University, this is Murrow News 8.
Good afternoon, and thanks for joining us for Murrow News 8. I'm Albert James.
And I'm Noah Bolter. Our top story this afternoon, we are continuing to track updates on the Moscow homicides. About an hour ago, the Moscow Police Department held a press conference that we live streamed with an update on the investigation. They say that the Latah County Sheriff's Office, the Idaho State Police, and the FBI are all involved with this investigation. They confirmed what we already knew, that Ethan, Xana, Kaylee, and Madison were stabbed. On the night of the attacks, Ethan and Xana were at a party on campus. Madison and Kaylee were at a downtown bar. They arrived home sometime after 1:45 a.m. on November 13th. Around noon, the police department received a phone call about an unconscious person. When they arrived, they found 4 bodies inside the residence on King Road. All 4 were stabbed with a knife, but they haven't found the weapon. There was no sign of forced entry at the residence. Investigators are still looking for evidence. They say 2 other residents were at the home when the attacks happened, and when the police arrived, they were still there. They say the autopsies are taking place today. Police say that they believe this was an isolated, targeted attack. They say the individual is still out there, and they do not have a suspect at this time. They want to remind the public to report any police activity. The phone number is on your screen. They say they don't know the identity or location of the suspect or the knife. They say that they cannot say there's no threat to the community. Police continue to say that they should have had the press conference a day or so ago. Albert.
And we've been following updates on the situation all day from our newsroom here in Pullman and over in Moscow. That's where our own Aaron Monson joins us live. Aaron, you were in the room during the press conference. What was the atmosphere like?
Thank you, Albert. Yeah, I'm standing here outside the memorial for the students that were tragically passed away. I just came from the press conference, and the all-around atmosphere, that whole thing was just, it felt like I was in a funeral, and it was heartbreaking to see, especially U of I President Scott Green holding back tears as he said his condolences for the family and how the community of U of I needs to just grieve together so they can be there for each other. There's a new vigil date, a candlelit vigil on November 30th. The time and place is still yet to be determined, but when we figure that out, we will let you guys know here on Murrow News 8. For now, that's all I've got for you. Back to you guys at the desk.
Aaron, thank you. In the days since the tragedy, new footage has surfaced that appears to show the victims just over an hour before police say they were killed. Take a look at your screen here. You'll see what appears to be Madison Mogan and Kaylee Gonzalez ordering from a Moscow food truck just before 2 a.m. Police estimate that they were killed sometime from 3 to 4 a.m. Investigators say they are still working to establish a timeline of the homicide. And in a statement today, WSU Police Chief Gary Jenkins echoed sentiments that the broader community is safe even after Sunday's discovery. He says in situations like this, there's a balance between providing information to keep the community safe and preserving the integrity of an investigation. His statement reads in part, quote, "I've been assured by the Moscow Police Department that, based on the information from their preliminary investigation, investigators believe this was an isolated, targeted attack, and there is no imminent threat to the community at large." He goes on to say, "We will continue to monitor the investigation and immediately communicate information via WSU Alert if we become aware of a potential threat to the WSU community at any time," end quote.
The Moscow art walk has been canceled. The city of Moscow says this cancellation is out of respect to the University of Idaho victims. Now, over on the other side of the country, we have more details coming in about Sunday's shooting at the University of Virginia. Suspect Christopher Darnell Jones Jr. appeared for the first time in court today, where he was denied bond. Prosecutors say witnesses told them Jones targeted specific victims when he opened fire on a bus, ultimately killing 3 football players and injuring 2 other students. Class was back in session today for the first time this week. Also today, officials announced that the football game scheduled for Saturday has been canceled.
Back here at home, the WSU Police Department is looking for a stolen residence hall sign. Take a look at your screen here. Police say the sign for Straight Parham Hall was taken by these individuals on Friday, November 4th around 11:30 p.m. Anyone with any information about the stolen sign is asked to contact WSU PD.
A former president is running for the 2024 elections.
And Jonah Oakleaf gives us a look at the forecast as temperatures continue to get chilly, coming up on Murrow News 8.
Just yesterday, former President Donald J. Trump announced that he is running for another term. If elected, Trump would become only the second president ever elected to 2 non-consecutive terms.
We are going to make our country safe, prosperous, great, and glorious again. This campaign will decide the fate of our entire nation, and we must win.
A breaking weather alert out of Spokane today as the city has just announced on Twitter that large amounts of fog are expected to roll in this afternoon. So heads up for all of you WSU students who live in Spokane and are traveling home for Thanksgiving break. Anticipate low road visibility and remember to drive carefully and slowly. It certainly does seem like that fog from up north is bringing in cooler temperatures. Jonah, what can we expect for the rest of the week?
Well, no, we got that foggy weather, and it is a reminder that we are, in fact, on the winter months here on the Palouse. Let's head over to the weather wall, and I'll show you what you can expect for the rest of the week. Now, for all you who are walking to class this morning, like myself, I'm sure you noticed that we had a little bit of that permafrost on the treetops floating down and into our faces. Quite chilly. It was not snowfall, false alarm. A little disappointment for some of you who were looking for that, and maybe a relief to others who were not. For the rest of the day, we got some highs in 25 degrees, lows in the high 30s. Let's go to tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be pretty similar, again, with highs in the 35. A little warmer than today, but again, you know, when that sun sets, it is going to get certainly chilly. Let's go to the state map real quick. So Pullman, Spokane, Tri-Cities, everyone on the eastern side, we got similar weather, partly cloudy, partly sunny, but on the western side of the Cascades, we actually got some warm weather. Olympia, Seattle, sitting around that 50-degree high and the low 30s low. Let's go to the forecast for Pullman now for the next week. Again, you know, we got that cloudy weather until Friday and this weekend when we see more partly sunny weathers. However, we are expecting some snow in the forecast for the pass, so if you are a student coming home this Thanksgiving, please be careful, bring chains, de-icer, everything to be safe. That's all I have for weather. Let's head back to you all at the desk.
Thank you, Jenna. When we come back, we will give you a preview of this weekend's football game against Arizona.
And what the Cougs need to do to beat former WSU quarterback Jane DeLora when Murrow News 8 continues.
Good afternoon, I'm Alex McCollum with sports. Cougar men's basketball fell last night to the Prairie View A&M Panthers. Prairie View's Will Douglas had a total of 26 points and 7 rebounds, with 17 of those in the first half. Jeremiah Gambrell added 19 points at halftime, and the Panthers were leading 41-27. TJ Bamba scored 16 points for the Cougs, with 9 of those in the final 6 minutes of the game. Kimeni Huinsu added 10 more points to the Cougs' final score. The game ended with the Cougs lost 70-59. The Cougars next play the Eastern Washington Eagles on Monday. Tip-off is at 6. The WSU football team is headed down to Tucson this Saturday for their matchup against the University of Arizona Wildcats. On Saturday, the Cougs clinched football eligibility for the 7th straight season, excluding the COVID-19 season, with a 28-18 win over Arizona State University. The Cougs have won 4 out of the last 5 meetings against the Wildcats, including last season's 44-18 win in Pullman. The Cougs are looking for their first victory at the Tucson Stadium since 2015. Now, to beat the Wildcats, the Cougs will need to score a minimum 40 points. The Wildcats only lost 1 game this year where their opponent scored less than 40 points. The Cougs also need to keep Jaden DeLora in the pocket. We saw how dangerous he could be last year when he escaped the pocket, so the Cougs need to keep him contained. Kickoff is at 11 a.m. Pacific time, and you can watch on the Pac-12 network. And in baseball news, the Mariners finalized a deal today with the Toronto Blue Jays for all-star outfielder and 2-time Silver Slugger award winner Teoscar Hernandez. According to the MLB, Seattle sent leverage reliever Eric Swanson and left-handed pitching prospect Adam Macko. Mariners general manager Justin Hollander said, "Teoscar has been one of the better middle-of-the-order bats in the American League and will be an exciting addition to our lineup as we look to strengthen our team and return to the playoffs in 2023. Hernandez crushed 2 homers in Game 2 of the AL Wildcard Series against the Mariners, putting the Blue Jays way ahead until the Mariners come back. That's all I have for sports. We'll have more for you when we return on Murrow News 8.
Well, we are in the last quarter phase of the moon cycle, and NASA's new rocket is officially in space. After a delay caused by damage from Hurricane Nicole, the rocket lit engines at 1:47 a.m. Eastern or 10:47 p.m. Pacific time yesterday. Nearly 9 hours later, the rocket captured the first image of the Earth since 1972. This Artemis 1 probe is expected to reach the moon and start its lunar orbit on November 21st. Thanks for watching. If you missed anything in this or any of our other newscasts, you can always watch us on our YouTube channel.
More news can be found at nwpb.org/MN8, and you can follow us on social media. Take care of each other and have a good night.